Brilliant. Well, hello guys. Nice to meet you all.
Hi.
Me too.
Hi, you too.
Let's jump right into the questions because I know that we are limited for time. So I've seen some of the series. It's absolutely fantastic. It's quite faithful to the Aldous Huxley novel, but it's also quite different and it's quite modernized in some ways. Harry, one of the things that is really modernized is the artificial intelligence system, Indra. Tell me a little bit about that and how that plays into the world of New London.
Yeah, Indra, which is the kind of the interface, as it were, the living cloud that we're all connected to through these eyepieces that through your retina gets into your brain. So I can instantly connect to Lenina's feed, for example. I can see what she's seeing, and that's partly how we're all connected and we're all part of this social body. And it's that is something that's not in the book. But again, the philosophy is shared, this idea of we're all part of this societal organism. But I think that just keys into a feature that we would relate to, because again, the distractions and all the stuff and the feelies that Helm makes is in the book, but it's just the interface and the actual specificity of it in our adaptation, I think makes so much sense. The idea that we're too lazy to even press a button on the phone. I just want to flick my eyes and be distracted. Yeah, so I think that made loads of sense. And the idea of Indra and how it came to be as well is also something that's explored and helps flesh out the backstory of this society later in the season.
So Jessica, Lenina is one of the first rogue characters, I guess, from New London, who's kind of questioning her existence and wanting to know what's out there in the wider world. What can you tease about the journey that your character goes on throughout the series?
I mean, I think almost from our very first encounter with Lenina, it's very clear that she's already sort of pushing the boundaries of how it is that you can exist in New London. And at first, that's very much, she's really kind of rebelling against the idea of monogamy. She's interested, she's really trying to connect with one person or see if prolonging periods of time with one person will sort of tap into something that she's kind of missing. And I think going forward, she spends quite a lot of energy sort of searching outside of herself. Mm-hmm. Whereas sort of, I wonder how much of that answers what she needs. And in fact, if it she might need to switch around the way she thinks about that. But yeah, definitely it starts outwardly for Lenina.
So Alden, the three characters don't actually come together until towards the end of the second episode. And you can already tell as a viewer, there's a little bit of a dynamic going on with Lenina and with John. But what can you tease about the dynamic between the three of you moving past the second episode?
Well, I think one of the most compelling storylines in the series is that you're in a world where kind of bad feelings or uncomfortable feelings are illegal, and what happens when somebody who feels everything and is very passionately falls in love with somebody who other people might have feelings about as well. And yeah, you've got a bunch of characters who don't know how to deal with any of these kind of conflicts, nor do people who don't live in that kind of world. So it's just gets very cool.
So back to Jessica. Which of the worlds would you rather be in if you were given a choice and you had to choose between New London or the Savage Lands?
Probably Savage Lands, but that's probably that's Lenina's privileged voice probably saying that. I just feel, or maybe more because I know, that. Yeah, a bit wilder, I like that.
So Harry, Bernard is one of the characters I would say that goes through possibly the biggest journey and biggest transformation of the three central characters. Why do you think it is that it takes so long for him to open his eyes up, or do you think that he has kind of had reservations all along? There's kind of little hints, but what do you?
Yeah, I think he has. He's not who we learn in that first episode that, like Lenina, despite the fact that in the first scene he tells Lenina, "You are not being a good citizen here. Take this drug, have some sex with some more people, and you'll be on your way. And he seems to be a perfect ambassador for New London. But then we see that actually Bernard himself has been spending time on his own and not having sex as much as he should. And what's wrong with him? And that's what connects him and kind of Lenina together. But the reason it takes him so long to really embrace what Lenina is embracing from episode 1 is his simply fear, is the fact that he's an alpha plus, but he's never had the respect or love that he feels that he deserves for that. And he doesn't feel like he is an alpha plus in a world where everyone is happy because they are what they're meant to be, which is a very powerful kind of concept. He says to Lenina in the first episode, I'm not who I'm supposed to be. And that itself is an illegal feeling. And for him to voice it, he's brave enough to explore it. But then as soon as he does get attention or love or respect, which actually being John's nanny when he comes to New London, suddenly affords him respect and love and interest. And so he's not interested in these rebellious ideas because he has he's comfortable again. So he's trapped. He's not quite brave enough to make the leap because he's also just a kind of a lost boy a little bit, and he's lonely and he doesn't really know what loneliness is. So it takes him a while, but he gets it.
So I think we've got time for one more question. So Alden, you have quite a lot of scenes opposite Demi Moore, who's obviously a screen legend. What was it like to work with her?
It was wonderful. She's fantastic in the role, and it was really cool to see her do this kind of role. And she's a person who's had some really unique life experience, even before she became such a movie star. So yeah, she was really wonderful to talk to and wonderful to work with.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for your time, guys. It's been really lovely chatting with you. I hope the show is a huge success in the UK, which I'm sure it will be. And fingers crossed for season 2 in the future.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, man. Cheers.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.